Are you weary of the relentless struggle, that frantic dance against the current of life that leaves you exhausted and without any tangible progress? Have you spent years forcing results, pushing against doors that respond only with the friction of the universe, wondering in the stillness of the night why success seems like an effortless whisper to some, while to you it's an exhausting battle cry? You've been taught that mastery lies in brute force, that fulfillment is the reward for fatigue, that sweat and tears are the only currency valid for buying the reality you crave. Well, prepare to hear the silenced voice of antiquity, the one that dismantles the myth of effort and reveals a truth as simple as it is radically hidden. The summit is reached not by desperately climbing, but by learning to surf the cosmic wave. What is revealed to you today is not a passive philosophy, nor an excuse for laziness, but the operating manual for expanded consciousness, the forbidden technique that allows the true adept to manifest the impossible, achieving the fullness of being and the richness of experience without falling into the trap of reactive and compulsive action. We speak of supreme alchemy, the art of achieving everything by doing nothing. And let me clarify, this nothing does not mean inactivity, but the total absence of the ego's resistance and friction. It is perfectly aligned action, the precise lever stroke that moves mountains with the energy of a finger. This transmission is a master key that turns in the lock of hermetic understanding, knowledge encoded by Thoth himself, the architect of words and master of mysteries, whose wisdom was laid in the sands of time, to be discovered only by those initiates ready to transcend the illusion of effort. We are about to descend into the depths of Wu Wei, effortless action, and ascend to the practice of mental alchemy that will allow you to transmute reality from its root cause. This is your last chance to stop building sandcastles in the storm of the ego and, instead, learn to build an unchanging beacon that draws the tide of destiny into your open hands. If you feel your spirit respond to the vibration of these words, if you recognize the truth resonating in the deep chambers of your being, then you are ready for this quantum leap. Before we unleash the first revelations and delve into the subtle mechanics of manifestation through non-doing, it is essential that you anchor your intention in this moment of revelation. The universe honors reciprocity and focused attention. Therefore, if you wish for this wisdom to penetrate your energy field and bear fruit in your life, I ask you for a threefold decree of will. First, grant the energy of a like to this transmission, a vibrational offering that amplifies the message. Second, subscribe to this channel to ensure that your path to mastery never strays from the source. And third, and most crucially, write the phrase, "I seek the truth," in the comments right now. This act is a declaration of intention, a sacred pact with your destiny that opens the portals of your subconscious mind to receive and apply these mysteries. Do it now. The truth awaits your call. The discovery, the art of non-action. The first mystery we must unravel is the cardinal concept underlying all powerful and silent manifestation, Wu Wei. For millennia, Western civilization has operated under the premise of reactive action and brute force, venerating the hero who fights against all odds. We are trained to be oaks, rigid, strong, and destined to break under maximum pressure. But Wu Wei, originating in the heart of ancient Taoism and perfected in the esoteric schools of the East and Egypt, offers us an alternative that is not weakness, but a higher form of power. Effortless action is not inactivity, but action perfectly calibrated and executed from a state of profound alignment with the universal logos. Imagine the river that, without intending to, erodes the hardest rock. It achieves this not through the violence of a blow, but through persistence and fluidity. The river does not strive to flow, it simply is flow. Wu Wei is the renunciation of friction, the dissolution of the internal resistance that the ego imposes on the flow of life. It is the profound understanding that all external struggle is, in essence, a manifestation of internal disharmony, a vibrational conflict between your personal will and the cosmic will. When the internal struggle ceases, external action becomes precise, minimal, and devastatingly effective, for you are no longer forcing your way, but being carried by the omnipotent force of the universe itself. The mastery of Wu Wei is the mastery of being, which expresses itself as transcendent efficiency in doing. Master Lao Tzu, in codifying this principle in the Tao Te Ching, was not advising people to become lazy contemplatives, but rather to transform themselves into flawless channels. Wu Wei demands a level of mental discipline far greater than mere physical exertion. It requires the initiate to be free from anxiety about the outcome and attachment to form. When you act from despair, need, or lack, your action is inherently tainted by a vibration of resistance. It is like trying to swim with an anchor of fear tied to your ankle. Effortless action, on the other hand, arises from a state of fullness and absolute trust, a state where the agent knows that the universe has already conspired in their favor. It is the wisdom of knowing when to act and, crucially, when not to. For the adept, strategic silence and deliberate stillness are forms of action as powerful as or even more powerful than visible movement. The Tao, which is the unchanging source of all things, operates in Wu Wei. It does not interfere, but simply is, and in being orchestrates the vast unfolding of the cosmos. Imitating this cosmic pattern is the only way to attain true sovereignty over manifested reality. Applying Wu Wei to our modern lives demands a transmutation of our perception of time and energy. Society rewards us for hyperactivity, fulfilling every moment with tasks and worries. Wu Wei invites us to create a sacred void, a space of non-doing within doing. This void is not inactivity, but the source of power. Think of it as the calm in the eye of the storm. In that silent center, the mind is freed from the tyranny of the overactive prefrontal cortex, the seat of the ego that tries to control every variable, allowing intuitive intelligence and the wisdom of the body to take over. The master archer doesn't concentrate on forcing the arrow toward the target. Their concentration dissolves into the present moment, their breath synchronizes with the wind, and the bow is drawn with a grace that seems supernatural. The arrow is released, not by the force of muscle, but by the release of restriction. That release is Wu Wei. It is the renunciation of neurotic control, the acceptance that life knows best how to carry out your manifested desires as long as you remain on the frequency of pure alignment. From a hermetic perspective, the connection between Wu Wei and mental alchemy is inescapable. The first principle of the Kybalion is mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is mental. If the universe is a mental projection, then any external struggle, the titanic effort to change others, to earn money, to force an outcome, is simply an ineffective battle against the shadow projected by your own subconscious mind. Effort is the signal that there is an internal vibrational conflict. Effortless action, therefore, becomes the external manifestation of internal peace of mind. When your mental state is one of abundance, calm, and unwavering conviction, the alchemical gold, your external action will be minimal and precise, because reality is already molded on the mental plane. The real work is not plowing hard fields, but first sowing the mental seed in fertile soil, the subconscious mind, and then trusting the process. Wu Wei is the art of mental gardening. You take care of the inner garden, and the harvest manifests itself on the outside with an ease that seems magical. The most sublime fruit of Wu Wei is the economy of vital energy. Most human beings waste their prana or chi on resistance, worry, and unnecessary effort. This constant energy drain leaves them exhausted and reactive. The adept who practices Wu Wei becomes an energy accumulator. By acting with precision, they expend only the minimum amount of force required, conserving the rest for regeneration and the expansion of consciousness. This conservation is what allows great masters to operate with undisturbed calm and supernatural mental clarity. Their body and mind are not worn down by friction. Their action becomes a natural and harmonious extension of the life force of the universe. Think of the surfer. They don't fight the wave, but merge with it, using its momentum and immense power to move effortlessly. If they tried to push the wave with their own muscles, they would be crushed. Wu Wei is the technique of the cosmic surfer who uses the power of the Tao to reach their destination without ever exhausting their own strength. This is the gateway to the true forbidden technique of Thoth. Thoth's forbidden technique, alchemy of vibration. Having understood that mastery lies in the absence of friction, we must now address the practical implementation, the forbidden technique of Thoth. Why the term forbidden? Not because the knowledge is inherently evil, but because it is so powerfully transformative that, in the hands of an unprepared consciousness, it could unleash chaos by allowing the individual to manipulate causal laws without the ethics of a purified heart. This knowledge was guarded by the lodges of Egypt and Atlantis, given only to those who had demonstrated mastery over themselves. Inner Wu Wei, for its essence, is the direct and radical application of the principle of vibration and the principle of correspondence. This technique does not seek to change the external world through physical force or complex maneuvers, but rather teaches you to adjust the dial of your own vibrational frequency so that the universe, operating by the law of attraction and resonance, is compelled to reorganize matter to reflect your new inner state. The cornerstone of this technique rests on the axiom of correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. Most people try to modify the below, their material life, their relationships, their body, without ever looking at the above, their mental and emotional state. The Thoth technique reverses this approach. It tells us that the universe is a vast ocean of vibrational energy, and that you are a constant transmitter of frequencies. If your internal frequency is one of scarcity, fear, or striving, a slow and dense vibration, your entire external reality will be an exact replica of that frequency. The forbidden technique teaches the practitioner to intentionally and consistently raise their vibration to the frequency of the desired outcome, peace, abundance, unconditional love, before that outcome manifests. It's not about pretending, but about genuinely attaining that state of being at a subconscious level, erasing the memory of lack. By achieving this internal transmutation, the universe, which cannot contradict itself, has no other option but to project the hologram of reality corresponding to your new master vibration. Mental alchemy, in this context, is the conscious manipulation of vibration. Thoth understood that the mind is not static. It is a musical instrument whose strings can be tuned. The reactive mind, the mind of struggle, is constantly out of tune, vibrating in the discord of conflict. The first step of the technique is mastery of the mental pendulum. The adept must cease being swept away by emotional oscillations, from pleasure to pain, from hope to fear. The prohibition of control lies in the fact that the initiate learns to neutralize the negative pole, not by repressing it, but by transcending it and raising consciousness to the higher plane of mind, where dualities are resolved into unity. This neutralization creates a state of vibratory stillness, similar to Wu Wei, which is the perfect leverage point. From this 0 point, the adept introduces the vibration of the manifested desire with absolute certainty, knowing that the law of vibration will force reality to collapse into that form. It is the fundamental difference between the desperate swimmer who struggles exhaustively against the undertow and the master surfer who uses the brute force of the ocean to his advantage without spending a drop of energy on resistance. The practice of the forbidden technique involves rigorous discipline, though paradoxically, it requires no effort. It is the discipline of pure focus. Most people focus their attention on the lack or the problem, feeding the unwanted vibration. The adept, on the other hand, uses their attention like a laser beam, anchoring their consciousness and emotions solely in the state of being that accompanies the already manifested result. This is not superficial visualization. It is the embodiment of the result. It is feeling the texture of achievement, breathing the atmosphere of the accomplished goal. The physical body, the sacred temple of vibration, is the primary vehicle of this alchemy. The way you move, the way you breathe, the way you hold your posture, everything communicates a frequency to the universal field. When the body aligns with the vibration of mastery, upright posture, deep and calm breathing, the mind finds it easier to sustain that frequency, and the universe responds with an astonishing acceleration of manifestation, removing obstacles that previously seemed insurmountable. This is true hermetic magic, changing reality not by fighting the effects, but by adjusting the root cause, which is the frequency of your own universal mind. The Thoth technique demands radical courage to release the need to control the hows and whens. The ego wants the detailed instruction manual. It wants to force the intermediate steps, but in Wu Wei applied to vibration, the only permitted action is alignment. Once the frequency has been established with purity and conviction, the adept's task is simply to maintain that frequency. Any action that arises from this state will automatically be the right action, effortless action. The forbidden technique, therefore, does not give you power over the universe. It gives you power over yourself, and by gaining power over yourself, which is a perfect microcosm, you automatically gain power over the macrocosm. This is the truth reserved for initiates. The fastest and most powerful manifestation occurs when visible action is minimal. Because the invisible work of vibration has already been completed, we pause. The intellect has received a dense load of ancient truths. To allow these seeds of wisdom to take root, stop for a moment, relax your shoulders, feel the weight of your body. Now, take 3 slow, deep breaths, inhaling the certainty of Wu Wei, exhaling all tension and the need to struggle. As you inhale, repeat internally, I am the flow. As you exhale, repeat, I release friction. Feel the vibration of calm settling into your center. This stillness is the leverage point. You don't have to strive to change the outside. You only have to align yourself with the inside. Maintain this awareness as we prepare to address the metaphors of nature and the practical pillars that underpin this great work. Mental alchemy, unlike the legends that seek chemical gold, is the adept's ultimate discipline. The only laboratory that truly matters. The essential transmutation is not performed on base metal, but on base thought. The lead we seek to transform is limiting belief, habitual fear, the corrosive doubt that prevents us from recognizing our inherent divinity. Gold, on the other hand, is the unwavering realization of personal sovereignty. The furnace of this alchemy is focused awareness, and the fuel is pure intention. If you cannot control the nature of your own thoughts, how can you expect to control the nature of the universe, which is simply the magnified reflection of your inner landscape? The alchemical process begins with nigredo, putrefaction, or obscuring. On the mental plane, this is the courageous confrontation with the shadow. We must plunge into the darkness of our mental habits and label, without judgment or attachment, the true nature of our inner misery. Most seekers fail here, preferring to flee from the filth rather than acknowledge that the raw material for gold lies precisely within that darkness. You cannot transmute what you do not confront. This is the work that demands the coldest honesty, The hermetic key to transmutation lies in the law of polarity. Everything is dual, everything has poles. Opposites are identical in nature, differing only in degree. The advanced mentalist does not destroy fear. That is impossible, since energy is not destroyed. Instead, they use fear as the negative pole of courage, and through focused will, consciously shift their focus to the opposite end of the same vibrational spectrum. Fear and courage are the same energy, manifesting at different frequencies. The orthodox teaching of positive manifestation is a pious and superficial lie. The truth is that alchemy is not simply positive thinking. It is violent transmutation, the forced intellectual relocation of consciousness. You must banish limiting thoughts the instant they arise. Not tomorrow, not after meditating, but now. This relentless discipline is what separates the dreamer from the master. If you allow a low vibration to linger in your mind for even a second longer, you have allowed that frequency to anchor itself and become your point of attraction. The adept must be a dictator in their own mental realm. Mental mastery, therefore, is the ability to sustain a chosen frequency regardless of external sensory evidence. Failure or perceived chaos are not obstacles, but rather tests that compel you to refine your alchemy. When the world cries doubt at you, and you respond with the unwavering resonance of certainty, you have reached rubedo, the reddening, the culmination of the great work. You have transformed your mind not only into gold, but into the perfect tool for sculpting your reality. We now turn to analogies from the natural world, for nature is the occultist's great textbook. Water and bamboo are the mirrors of Wu Wei and mental resilience. Water flows. It always seeks the path of least resistance, which some mistake for weakness. However, there is no force on earth that can stop persistent water. Water takes the shape of its vessel, meaning that the aligned mind adapts to external circumstances without losing its essence. Its softness is its relentless power. The mistake of the novice is wanting to be the rock, rigid and immutable, resisting at all costs. Wisdom teaches us to be like water, penetrating and humble. Brute force is finite and runs out. The adaptability of water is infinite. This flexibility translates on the mental plane as the ability to release attachment to how something should manifest, maintaining only attachment to what. To flow is to surrender the method to the universe, while keeping the inner vision firm. Bamboo, on the other hand, teaches us the truth about true strength. When a hurricane blows, the proud and rigid oak breaks. Bamboo bends, yielding completely, bowing almost to the ground. Its secret is not its surface hardness, but its flexibility and, crucially, its inner emptiness. This emptiness is a metaphor for no ego, for the clear mind that offers no internal resistance to the flow of life. Mental rigidity is the cause of all frustration and suffering. The mind that insists things must be a certain way is destined to break. The mind that is like bamboo, emptied of dogma and fixed expectations, can bend before the deepest adversity without breaking. And once the storm has passed, the bamboo, because of its inherent resilience, regains its perfect uprightness. It never stays on the ground. The unified lesson is this: the persistence of water, your inexhaustible intention, must be combined with the flexibility of bamboo, your method of action. The adept realizes that the greatest strength lies in the greatest adaptability. Be like the water that dissolves obstacles, and be like the bamboo that, by yielding to pressure, ensures its survival and its subsequent triumphant return to alignment. It is in the bending of the mind, not in its resistance, that the key to mastery resides. Mental alchemy is the pinnacle of Hermetic teachings. Forget the transmutation of metals. The true lead to be transformed is the heavy, reactive consciousness of the ego, which must become the pure gold of aligned will. The Thoth technique, often called the Forbidden One, is simply the deliberate application of the principle of vibration. Understand that everything you experience, pain, joy, limitation, is a frequency that emanates from and returns to you. The adept does not ask the universe to change. They adjust their inner tuning fork until the universe, by the law of correspondence, has no choice but to reflect the new melody. The average person lives under the illusion of external causes. They strive to force reality, pushing and manipulating visible circumstances. This is futility. They try to straighten the river instead of flowing with it. Mental alchemy completely reverses this paradigm. The Hermeticist knows that the external world is the great concave mirror that only amplifies what has already been established in the secret chamber of the mind. If the external form of your life is chaotic, it is because the internal form, the energetic mold of your intention, is scattered and fearful. And here lies the shocking secret that the schools have jealously guarded, the turning point of this teaching. Objective reality, as defined by the masses, does not exist as a fixed and independent entity. Your consciousness is not a passive receiver of external information. It is the co-creative force that collapses probability into manifestation. The Thoth technique is forbidden because, once mastered, it destroys the victim narrative. If you are able to transform your inner state to generate prosperity, happiness, or health, then the absence of these things cannot be the fault of fate, society, or bad luck. Your lack is a vibrational failure, not a circumstantial one. How is this vibrational shift accomplished? Not through empty affirmations or forced smiles, but through the radical dissolution of the internal egregores that imprison you. You must cease fighting against what is, and instead, become the embodiment of what you wish to manifest. This is a metamorphosis of being, not a mental trick. If you seek peace, you must be peace, allowing that frequency of serenity to become your baseline state, without attachment to the outcome the physical world presents to you today. This is acting from the desired end, living the inner truth before matter recognizes it. Alchemy is dangerous because it is relentlessly efficient. If your dominant intention is tainted by doubt, lingering fear, or a desire to control others, the universe doesn't judge it. It simply amplifies it. The masters warned, mental power without purity of heart accelerates self-destruction. Therefore, the first law of the adept is rigorous self-observation. You must purify the channel before attempting to transmit the signal. Only when the lead of your lower desires has been melted by the fire of pure will can the gold of aligned reality be forged. Stop for a moment. Feel the frequency you are emitting right now. Is it the frequency of the victim or the frequency of the creator? The answer is your current reality. Mental alchemy is the hidden science of causality. It is not about controlling external events. That is low-level sorcery and a waste of time, but about transmuting the core of your being. Knowing that the physical world is, without exception, the mirror that reflects the image of your dominant psychic state. The illusion of struggle arises when you try to force a result, the effect, while keeping the internal vibration, the cause, unchanged. This is like trying to harvest apples by sowing thorns. The law is unbreakable. The external only obeys the internal. If your current reality seems chaotic or limiting, look inward, not outward. Your limitation does not lie in the scarcity of the world, but in the unyielding inner conviction of your own inadequacy. The internal state precedes and dictates the form of material manifestation. Consider the analogy of the desperate swimmer. This individual expends all his energy fighting against the current, exhausted by the resistance he himself creates. The current is not your enemy. It is the manifestation of your own mental inertia. The desperate swimmer is the one who prays for wealth while inwardly fearing poverty or failure. In contrast, there is the master surfer. He does not fight the wave. He studies it, understands its power, and uses the ocean's relentless force to his advantage. His success lies not in muscle, but in precise alignment with the force presented to him. Manifestation is always less an act of striving and more an act of perfect alignment with the truth you have already established within yourselves. The surfer does not need to ask the wave to carry him. He simply positions himself where the force is inevitable. How is this alignment achieved? Through uncompromising inner transmutation. The mental alchemist doesn't engage in superficial, positive thinking. He actively destroys the structures of fear, guilt, and lack that he has built throughout his life. The lead that must be transmuted is not a physical metal, but your memory of failure, your old resentment, and the subconscious conviction that you are unworthy. This lead is dense and heavy, and can only be melted by the alchemical fire of unrelenting will and radical discernment. If you are unwilling to burn away your old identities, you will continue to drift aimlessly, at the mercy of currents you yourselves programmed, unable to take the helm of your being. Herein lies the great secret that self-help books don't reveal. The universe doesn't respond to your desires, but to your dominant vibration. When you pray or wish for something from a place of need and lack, your plea is, in fact, a powerful affirmation of your current inadequacy. You are vibrationally begging, which attracts more conditions that require begging. It's a vicious cycle of despair disguised as hope. True alchemy demands that you already be the embodiment of your desire. If you seek abundance, you must act, feel, and think from the emptiness of need, knowing that wealth already flows through you. Manifestation is simply the universe correcting its mistake, adjusting external reality to match the inner truth you have established. This is the radical self-authorization of being. The difficulty of this task lies in sustaining that pure inner state. The cosmos is a relentless examiner. When you declare you have transmuted the lead, life immediately presents you with circumstances specifically designed to make you doubt, to provoke an emotional relapse into the old state of victimhood or lack. This is the trial by fire. Many fail here, reverting to the identity of the desperate fighter as soon as the first wave threatens to overwhelm them. It is not enough to manifest a flash of gold in a moment of ecstasy. You must transform the entire substance of your being into that noble metal, so that not even the most severe blow can return you to the primitive and limiting form. The change in reality demands the permanence of the transmuted self. Having grasped mental alchemy as the unshakable foundation of causality, we must now examine the practical art of divine resilience and sustaining. For what good is reaching a peak of transmutation if that state cannot be sustained in the face of the storms of the external world? Here, nature offers us two silent yet powerful instructors whose wisdom we must embody: water and bamboo. They teach us that true strength lies not in unyielding rigidity, but in the ability to yield without breaking, maintaining the integrity of the inner core while navigating external chaos. Consider water. It has no form of its own, taking the shape of its container, and in this malleability lies its invincibility. It does not resist, it flows. If it encounters a rocky obstacle, it does not attack it furiously, but rather surrounds it, slowly dissolving it through unceasing persistence. He who tries to impose his rigid ego upon reality is like the rock that opposes the river. He will eventually be worn down. The adept learns to be water, to occupy the space given to him without emotional resistance, knowing that the continuous and subtle pressure E, which is the manifestation of alchemical will achieve what brute force never could. It is the strength of yielding, the humility of not clinging to any particular form. Then there is the bamboo. Physically, it appears fragile and thin, but before a hurricane, it bends almost to the ground. It humbles itself before the force that attacks it. The rigidity of a towering oak condemns it to be split in two. The flexibility and humility of the bamboo allow it to survive the fury and rise again when the danger has passed. This ability to bend is directly proportional to its inner strength. Note that it is hollow. This central emptiness is metaphorical. It is the absence of an inflated ego, the acceptance of one's relative insignificance before cosmic forces. Only one who is comfortable being empty can be truly strong. For there is no rigid self to defend when the storm strikes with violence. The master integrates both lessons into their daily practice. They adopt the tireless persistence of water to achieve their goals, the unwavering will of alchemy, and the adaptability of bamboo in how they handle conflict, resistance without rigidity. This is the fundamental paradox of mastery. Only by fully surrendering to the present circumstance can one gain the power to transform it. Those who insist on direct confrontation will only encounter friction and exhaustion, leading them back to the state of a desperate swimmer. Learn to negotiate with the universe, to find the point of least resistance so that the energy of your pure intention can flow unimpeded. Pause for a moment and allow these truths to settle into your being. To ensure that your new inner form is not a fragile illusion, but a living truth, you must submit to a brief exercise in silence. Close your eyes, feel the pressure of your current circumstances surrounding you. Instead of tensing your shoulders or clenching your jaw in resistance, allow your body, like bamboo, to bend gently. Release that need to control the current situation. Hold the intention of your inner gold while letting the water of life flow around your new, flexible structure. Maintain this posture of flexible strength for 10 deep breaths. This is the true practice of divine resilience. Synthesis and illumination. The truth of divine resilience is no longer a mystery to you. We have unveiled the inner workings of transmutation, but alchemy is not a philosophy. It is a practice. To ensure your continued ascension, you must integrate these principles into a daily structure, a tripod that bears the weight of transformation. These are the 3 pillars of practice. The first pillar is pure and unchanging intention. Before water can flow or bamboo can bend, there must be a definite destination. Intention is your star map and your inner gold. It must be devoid of emotional attachment to the outcome, purified of the need for external approval. When your intention is clear, deep, and altruistic, life itself bends to your aid. It is the difference between a fleeting wish and an unbreakable decree. Never negotiate the destination, only the path. The second pillar is radical presence. It is total immersion in the curve of the present moment. The power of water lies in its absolute focus on the immediate obstacle it must circumvent. It neither dwells on the past nor fears the future. Radical presence eliminates the waste of mental energy on judgment, worry, or guilt. When you are fully present, your action is like bamboo, precise, immediate, and free of internal friction. Mastery is not about doing many things, but about doing one thing with your entire being. The third pillar is strategic surrender. This is the conscious application of flexibility. Once intention is set and presence established, you must release the need to control form. You must trust that the universe, being a perfect energy system, will show you the path of least resistance. Surrender is not weakness. It is the highest intelligence. It is yielding the small will of the ego to access the cosmic will that moves the stars. Allow your form to adapt while your core remains steely. These 3 pillars, intention, presence, and surrender, are the driving force of transmutation. When they are kept in balance, they naturally elevate you to the flow state, the realm where effort disappears and miracles become your norm. Ancient wisdom has always recognized this state, and today, science finally validates it. Let's talk now about the neuroscience of flow, the biological secret behind your divine resilience. The flow state is not magic, it's the optimization of your divine hardware. It's a psychophysiological state where action and awareness merge, eliminating the sense of time and the voice of the inner critic. It's the consciousness of bamboo, acting perfectly without deliberation. At a chemical level, flow is a cascade of neurochemicals. Dopamine to fuel the pursuit, norepinephrine for laser focus, and crucially, anandamide, the neurotransmitter of happiness, which facilitates neuronal connection and erases anxiety. These chemicals don't just boost performance. They literally silence activity in the prefrontal cortex, the seat of the ego, worry, and self-consciousness. This is the key to enlightenment. When the ego shuts down, internal friction ceases. You stop thinking about the action and simply become the action. The brain shifts from beta waves, the noise of anxiety and analysis, to alpha and theta waves, the rhythms of deep meditation and peak performance. You are, quite literally, meditating while you are acting. The alchemy of consciousness is not a metaphor. It is the transmutation of inefficient neural energy, resistance, the base metal, into a state of effortless coherence and power, gold, flow consciousness. Modern science tells us that maximum peace and productivity are found in the same place, the point of total surrender and absolute focus. This understanding resolves the central paradox. To gain the power to transform your life, you must first release the need to force it. The universe asks for collaboration, not confrontation. The most powerful warrior is the one who doesn't need to fight, but simply flow. You have seen the map. Now, you must walk the path. Your mastery is inherently natural, waiting to be unleashed through the conscious practice of intention, presence, and surrender. Now, close the loop on this transmission. The final lesson is that strength is not measured by what you resist, but by what you are able to embrace and redirect. You are not a desperate castaway. You are the current itself, guided by the wisdom of water and the flexibility of bamboo. The universe will never place an obstacle before you that, with the right awareness, you cannot circumvent or bend. Which of the two archetypes, the ceaseless flow of water or the flexible resilience of bamboo, speaks to you more deeply at this moment in your life? Leave your answers below. If this truth has resonated within your soul, if you feel this alchemy is the path you've been seeking, I urge you to share this video right now. Make this act a cosmic service, a wave of consciousness that touches others struggling in the resistance. Subscribe to this channel, activate the sacred notification bell, and join this congregation of truth seekers. Your journey does not end here. The ascent is infinite. On the screen to the side, you'll see the portal for the next stage, the sacred geometry of manifestation. Don't hesitate. Click now and continue your ascension.